Ever think about what it takes to help someone bounce back from an injury? And I don't just mean physically, but mentally too.
It's a whole other side of healthcare, isn't it?
Totally. And that's what we're diving into today, the world of sports therapy. We've got some really interesting stuff from RoleCatcher, a career platform you send over.
Oh, yeah, they've got a ton of resources, but their sports therapy guide is especially fascinating.
I agree. Let's dive right in. One thing that jumped out at me was, well, sports therapy, it's not just about sports, is it?
Right. I think a lot of people might assume that, but it's so much broader.
This RoleCatcher guide, it really opened my eyes to what a sports therapist actually does. For example, they work with all kinds of people, not just athletes, right?
Exactly. A huge part of their job is actually helping people manage chronic conditions or even prevent them in the first place. And, with healthcare costs always on the rise, that preventative side of things is becoming more important than ever.
That makes a lot of sense. So they need a really deep understanding of the human body that's a given. But I'm also getting the sense that they have to be amazing communicators too.
You're absolutely right. They're kind of like health coaches, but with that added expertise in rehabilitation. I mean, they work closely with doctors and other healthcare providers to make sure their clients are getting the best possible care. They're like that bridge between the sometimes confusing medical world and someone who just wants to understand their own body better and improve their health.
That's a perfect way to put it. And speaking of things that are impressive, the job outlook for sports therapists is absolutely booming.
It makes sense when you really think about it. Our population is aging, and there's way more awareness around preventative care these days. The demand for these specialists is only going to keep growing.
It's like they're on the leading edge of a healthcare revolution. But, this RoleCatcher guide, it doesn't sugarcoat things either. It sounds like this kind of work can be really demanding, both physically and emotionally.
Oh, absolutely. You're working with people who are dealing with pain, frustration with their bodies. Empathy is crucial in this field. It takes a special kind of person to provide support and encouragement, but also be firm and push those clients to reach their full potential.
It's a tough balance, for
Mhm.
sure, but I bet the rewards are incredible. Imagine helping someone regain their mobility after an accident or manage a chronic condition they thought would hold them back. That's a powerful thing.
It really is. And here's something else that might surprise people. You don't necessarily need to have a medical degree to get started in sports therapy.
Wait, seriously?
Seriously. Now, don't get me wrong, you don't need to be a doctor, but you do need a strong foundation in anatomy, physiology, and all those hands-on rehab techniques.
So you're telling me I could ditch my desk job for a career where I get to help people live healthier lives? Okay, tell me more. But seriously, what does that path even look like? How do you actually become a sports therapist? So you're saying I could ditch my desk job for a career where I get to help people live healthier lives. Okay, tell me more. But seriously, what does that path even look like? How do you actually become a sports therapist?
Well, like I said, no med school, which is good news for some people, but you would need specific certifications. And this guide really stresses how important a solid background in anatomy and physiology is. Oh, and those practical rehab techniques, those are a must-have too.
Right, that makes total sense. So let's say you got the knowledge, you got the credentials.
Yeah.
What about the actual day-to-day work? What's it really like to be a sports therapist? Is it all gyms all the time?
Huh. Not exactly, though gyms are definitely part of it. You could work in a hospital setting, a private practice, even a corporate wellness center, believe it or not.
So there's a lot of variety.
Yeah. Every day is different, and that's a big draw for a lot of people going into this line of work.
Okay, so no 2 days are exactly alike. But what kind of things might a sports therapist typically do?
Okay, so picture this. You start your day by checking in with your clients, seeing how they're progressing, maybe tweaking their exercise plans based on their individual needs.
It's all about personalization then. It's not just a one-size-fits-all kind of deal.
You got it. It's all about tailoring those programs. You take into account their injuries, their current fitness level, even their personal goals, all of it. And then you might lead a group exercise session, something focused on building strength or improving flexibility.
I bet it's super rewarding to see that sense of community, everyone encouraging each other.
Absolutely. It really is. And, throughout the day, you're also in communication with other professionals. Think doctors, physical therapists, sometimes even a client's family members. It's all about coordinating care and making sure everyone's on the same page.
There's that communication piece again. So it sounds like being a people person is just as important as knowing all that anatomy stuff.
You've hit the nail on the head. And here's where things get really interesting. This guy talks about how technology is transforming the world of sports therapy.
Oh, tell me more. I'm always up for learning how tech can improve healthcare and, well, make our lives easier.
Well, just think about all those fitness trackers and health apps out there. Sports therapists are tapping into all of that. They use those tools to track their clients' progress remotely, provide individual feedback, even make changes to exercise plans in real time.
Wow, so they could basically coach someone who's miles away.
That's the future of it. And it goes beyond just tracking steps and calories. Telehealth is booming in rehab these days. Sports therapists can hold virtual appointments, assess movements remotely, even guide clients through exercises online.
That's amazing. It really does make specialized care more accessible, especially if you live in an area without a lot of specialists. But let's say someone listening is totally sold on this whole sports therapy thing. What's next for them? Is there room to keep learning and growing in this field? It sounds like there's so much room for growth in this field. Once you're a sports therapist, where can you go from there?
Well, you could specialize, right? This guide even mentions niching down, maybe focusing on something like geriatric wellness.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like working with older adults specifically, helping them improve their balance and mobility, things like that. Or you could go in a totally different direction.
Like what?
Sports injury rehab, helping athletes get back in the game after a setback,
I love that. So you can really hone in on what you're passionate about and become an expert in that specific area.
Exactly. And there's always something new to learn. You could get certified in things like, I don't know, nutrition coaching or biomechanics.
Biomechanics.
Yeah. All about optimizing movement, making sure people are moving in a way that's both effective and safe. Those kinds of extra certifications, they make you even more valuable to your clients, open up even more doors for you career-wise.
It's like you're constantly leveling up your skill set.
Mm.
Someone could start as a sports therapist working one-on-one with clients and then end up like leading workshops on injury prevention or even managing a whole team of therapists.
Exactly. You can really carve your own path. And this is what I think is really exciting. As technology keeps advancing, who knows what incredible new opportunities will pop up.
Right. I mean, what's next?
Well, we might see sports therapists using virtual reality to create these immersive rehab programs, or even artificial intelligence to analyze movement data and give even more personalized feedback. It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
Okay, that's straight out of a sci-fi movie. So for anyone listening who's thinking, okay, the sports therapy thing, maybe this is for me, what's the one thing you really want them to take away from all of this?
It's not just about the science, don't get me wrong, that's essential, but it's about truly connecting with people, understanding their struggles, and empowering them to take charge of their own well-being. If you're passionate about movement, about wellness, and about making a real tangible difference in people's lives, well, this could be the perfect fit.
This whole deep dive has been so eye-opening. It's incredible how much more there is to sports therapy than meets the eye. I mean, we talked about the holistic approach, those amazing advancements in technology, all the diverse career paths you can take. But as we wrap up here, what really stood out to you from this RoleCatcher guide?
I think what struck me the most was how vital adaptability is in this field. You have to be comfortable working with all sorts of different clients, staying current on the latest research, and embracing new technologies as they emerge. It's not a career for someone who wants to just stay put.
That's a fantastic point. It's all about being a lifelong learner, always curious, always striving to do better. This deep dive has given us so much to think about. I hope it sparks something in our listeners, too. If you're inspired by the idea of helping others live healthier, more active lives, a career in sports therapy might be calling your name.